Alrighty, so we have one more bead to make to finish up for today. This one's just going to be a big bead, a very, very big bead, which is always difficult because of the fact that this does break off. So, but making it thin is just really hard sometimes. So we're gonna try it. Just gonna get that perfect one to fit in there a little thin without burning my hand here. See, I'd rather do this. So that's what I'm gonna do. And this is a slim, it's called a slim lentil, so it's not as thick, so it's not as big and bulky. It's still a big focal piece, but it's perfect hanging with sterling silver. It doesn't take as much glass as you'd think it took. So I'm not really worried about how I lay this on. Rod is getting a little small, so we're going to get a bigger one here. And it's cold, so it might shock and explode everywhere. We'll see. I love using enamel on these types of beads, but I can't find my sifter. So I'm going to grab some white enamel while we're at a not such a critical time in my beads. So we're going to heat that up as we walk over here. To put this on with my finger. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we're going to try it. Okay, and we're going to just start pressing here. Okay. So a little bit more. The bottom looks really good. That's a first. Side, but we're going to get our pale blue up here. I used to love working with the 1/16 rods. They're a lot smaller, but they're nicer when you're doing jewelry, because if you make the holes too big, then they just seem really loose. So this has got, I think, a little less than a 2mm hole. So the jump rings, or not the jump rings, the head pins fit in really nice. But as I get older and my hands don't work as well, I'm noticing I shy away from this size because one, it's very hard to get them off the rod. I end up bending the rods. And two, it's just hard to turn it with my fingers when it's really small. Some of the disadvantages of getting a little older. We'll see what happens when I get into my 60s. Not quite there yet. Okay, now I feel like I've got way too much ivory. So, one thing great about glass is you can push it down. Lot more aqua here, and this is another bead that I can etch or I can leave it alone. I do like the etched because it makes it look a little bit more like sea glass. Again, we just add a little bit at a time. And it gets a little heavy. It gets a little heavy with these really small rods. And if I have it really loose, then my hand really starts to shake, so. Okay, so where are we at? Alrighty, we're getting there. So we're good on the top. I don't like this coming up so high. Melt that back down. Now you just got to manipulate it a little bit. Okay. So we just need a little more. And you can see that this side's good. This side's got kind of out of shape. Grab the wrong side. I did. Thank God it was cooled enough that I didn't burn my hand. Okay, and this is about the same. Just gonna add a little bit of glass right there. And I need to kind of round off that top a little bit more. we go. We are where we want to be. And as usual, I'm going to grab my silvered ivory. Come across this. And if I wanted to, you could add just a couple, like little slices right there. It's just sand. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Okay, so this is where I want to put my enamel. And again, I don't recommend this. Actually, don't do it. This should be done with a sifter. And while wearing a little bit of protection. I'm just putting it on there to give a little bit of, I don't know, give it a little bit of, it's going to kind of look like a wave, you know, the white of the water. So I'm not using a whole lot. It's just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to swirl. And again, if you go too deep, these will get stuck inside. But I'm going to grab a thicker one here. And I'm going to go a little lower so that I grab some of that sand up. Put it right there. We're going to try and make a starfish. Sometimes I can make them without a problem. Other times, not so much. Okay. So I think this one's my favorite side. Okay, so we're going to turn down the heat. And we're going to use a stringer. Got my hands on the rest, and that will hopefully keep me a little more steady. So I'm just going to do this, and then you're just going to basically build up. I got a little dot that landed right there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that off. So now comes the melting and a little bit of shaping. I could try and slide that up towards that dot. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. you want to heat the rest of your bead. And I turned it down a little bit. And unfortunately, when you get to this point, you really can't put it in here so that you don't destroy your sand dollar. Okay, he's a little thick right here, this one arm. So then you need a little tool. And I don't have one, so I'm going to try and use this. I just wanted something a little smaller to try and slide that in there so it's not quite so thick. And we lost this guy. So we're going to add a little bit more to this arm. Okay. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is just really heat it. Get rid of the chill marks from the press. Make it nice and smooth. I'm going to do this side. Keto, what good is barking if you're sitting in here instead of checking to see what's going on? Just a lazy dog. I put these on at the end because the more that I heat this, obviously the more things are going to melt. I don't want to melt these into the bead, so I usually leave it to the very end. Sometimes it doesn't help though. Sometimes they still melt down, so you just got to be really careful on your heat. Not heat them all the way down so that you got a little bit of play. Okay, so we're just going to do the final heat on this side. Okay, and now we're going to come in here and put some dots on our sand dollar first. Okay, so we're going to go one. Yeah, you really need a steady hand. Yes, absolutely. But you do what you can. And I make them a little deep just because once I put them back in the fire, they're going to be gone. The struggle is real. Okay, I'm going to put a nice big one right in the center. Actually use one of these. Okay, and now we're just going to put this back in the heat one more time. Obviously we don't want it to crack. Okay, and then we're going to heat this up. Put our holes in top. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Kind of misshaped it a little bit. So we're just going to slide that in there like that. That's okay. And we're just going to give it a thorough heat. kiln it goes. I'll show you really quick. I just don't want to burn my finger here. And there we go. So there's our little beach scene. Just gonna give it one more good heat. And that should be it. Alrighty, and that is it for me today. And I will show you what those look like when they come out of the kiln. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, just a quick drop in to show you our finished beads. They came out of the kiln. I've cleaned all the release out of the middle. So, this was the video of the shell bead, or the, excuse me, the focal bead that we made. Probably should have made a different color for the sand dollars so it didn't match with that, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of boring. That's about 1 1/4 inches. And the other video, which you probably haven't seen because I don't know which one I'm uploading tonight, are little Caribbean beads. They're just like little ocean beads. That one didn't come out all so great, so I had to make a couple. Okay, and then the other ones were my other shell beads. These were made with a pale blue, which you can't really see, so I don't think I used a pale blue. I think I might have used a clear, because I don't see the blue, but I'm going to etch these. And then this was our end of the day bead, just all the old little pieces of glass. We just combined them all together and threw them all into a funky shape. So, hope you liked them. And we'll see you tomorrow.